Hi. Hi. So today we're going to continue with the data structure and algorithm series. The book we're going to use is still the same book, data structure and algorithm in Python by, I believe it's Tamassia. Forgot. So we're going to use data structure and algorithm. Goodrich, Tamassia and Goldwasser. Okay, and to continue the last sections today, we're gonna keep finishing chapter one. Chapter one. This is chapter two. So we're gonna in the exercises and the module parts. Python's that was lesson 1.3. So after the data type uh, exercises or lessons, so expression, operators and precedence. So today we just gonna cover logical operators, equality operators, comparison operators, arithmetic operators, and yeah, so that's the scope that we're gonna cover. Okay, so first of all, let's do logical operators. Okay, so here as you can see, for logical operator we have three operators: not, and or. Not is to when you use not to make a negative of a statement, the opposite of a statement. So and you're gonna use and when you want to find two conditions that is happening at the same time, and or if you want to just one of the two conditions happen at one at a time, you know, it's either one happen or two happen, it's okay. Okay, so let's try some exercise to understand this logical operator. So for not, the first operator is not. So we have a list here, is that list 1 equal to numbers from 0 to 9 integers. Okay, so now I want to print for all the number in range from 0 to 20, so we have to denote 21 because in range function in Python you have to up 1 from your wanted end. And I want to bring all the number that is not in list 1 that is under 20. Okay, so I want to print all the number that is not in list 1 but it still has value of less than 20 or equal to 20. Okay, so I say again, I want to print out all the number that is not in list 1 but still less than 21 or less or equal to 20. Okay, so we can say if x not in list 1, which means x is not in the list 1 and also satisfying x smaller than 21, then we can print x. So let's run. So you can see we print 10, 11, 12, 13 to 20. So those are number not in list 1 but and less than 21. Okay, so that's the not keyword, because you want to use not keyword when you want to make a negative statement of something. In this case, it's a negative statement of the fact that an element from 0 to 9 is in list 1 and want to print out elements that is not in list 1. Okay, all right. Next, we're gonna have the AND operation. We're gonna have the AND operation. So AND operation is used when you want two conditions to happen at the same time. So in this case, we're gonna still use list 1 here, which are numbers, integers from 0 to 9. And I want to print out the elements that is both divisible by 2, x modulus 2 equal to 0, and divisible by 3. So we're going to print out numbers that is divisible by both 2 and 3 at the same time. Okay? And that has to lie in list 1. So with that, when we want to print out two conditions at the same time like that, we're going to use the logical operation of AND. And as you can see, we print out a number in this one that is divisible by both 2 and 3. So I guess the result gonna be 0 and 6. And let's check out. So exactly it's 0 and 6. Okay? So we have learned two okay, I'm gonna finish the OR operator and I'm gonna recap, okay? So the next operator we're gonna study is OR operator. Okay, so let's copy the code first, and we're gonna try to understand the operators. Okay, try to explain. Okay. So don't worry too much about the code. You can follow, you can copy the code when you saw me put it on the screen, or you can just I'm gonna put the code into a document and I'm gonna put in the link in the description. But maybe you should follow and type it along because it's better for your development. Okay, so number 3 is the OR operation. So OR operation means whether one of the two conditions happens, then the condition is satisfied. It doesn't need both conditions to be happening. It just needs one condition or both conditions. It's all okay. So in this case, we want to print whether inside this one, any number, it can be divisible by 2 or by 3 is okay. So whether it's divisible by 2 or by 3 is okay. But if it is divisible by both 2 and 3, that's even better. That's good too. So in this one, 0 is divisible by both 2 and 3. 2 is divisible by 2 but not by 3, that's okay. 3 is divisible by 3 but not by 2, but that's okay too. So we have 0, 2 and 3 here. Well, 1 is not divisible by neither 2 and 3. That's why it's not getting printed out. Okay? And 4 is also divisible by 2, so that's okay. 5 is not divisible by either 1 or 2, so that's not okay. So similarly, you can see that we're going to print out 6, 8, 9, and 8 as following, because 6 is divisible by both 2 and 3, 8 is divisible by 2, and 9 is divisible by 3. Okay? So so that's the problem. So you can the OR is going to take both conditions. Okay? So all right. Next, we're gonna have the. Okay, just wait me a little bit. We're gonna have quite a interesting operation, which is the equality operators, is and is not. Okay, we're gonna have the operator of is and is not. So is and is not are called identity operators. Okay. Okay, so let's see what is operator are about. Okay, so is an identity operators in Python that used to check if two values are located at the same part of memory. Okay, two variables that are Okay, so is it is not identity operators. They are used to check if two values of variables are located on the same part of the memory. Two variables that are equal does not imply that they are identical. So they have to reside in the same part of the memory, okay? And print true if the operands are identical. It means they are equal and they lie in the same memory. And print and it's not true if the operands are not identical. So they're not referring to the same object. Well, you know, which means that is not true. So let's try to exercise. I think this one is a little bit ambiguous. Okay. So now here we have the first example, x1 and x2. So x1 equal to 5 and x2 and x1 equal to 5 and y1 is also equal to 5. And now when we print now x1 is not y1, that's false because x1 is y1, okay? Because they are the same integer 5, so in the memory they're gonna be just alias of the same you know, let's say memory stack, so they're gonna occupy the same memory. So let's try to print x1 is x2 is y1. So I think the output is gonna be true. There you go, the output is true. So because it is occupying the same memory, okay? Okay, so but same thing with x2 and y2. So x2 is hello, when y2 is hello, they are exactly the same string. So so because they are referring to the same object, they are just two reference to the same object, okay? They are just two reference to the same object in the memory. It's like it just call the string hello in the two different way, like x2 and y2. So that's why when we print x2 is y2, it returns true because they are referring to the same object here. Okay. But now, this part is very interesting. The last one, we have two lists. List x3 is 1, 2, and 3, and list y3 is also 1 and 2 and 3. So let's see if x3 is y3. So on the last line, we're going to print out to check if x3 is y3. So it's a false. Why? You can see in this case the two lists, although the appearance is the same, but by the action of creating another list, we have put the second list on a different memory positions. So that's why it is a different object from the first list. Okay, so the first list resides at one memory address, and then when you create y3, which is the second list, it's gonna reside at the different memory address. So they are not the same object, which means they are not identical. So this one gonna return false. Okay. I know it is a little bit ambiguous, but you're gonna get to understand it when you go along the way. Okay, so I'm gonna explain again. X, Y, Y, X, X2 is Y2. So X2 and Y2. So okay, let's explain this one a little bit. Well, X1 is Y1 because they are just a different alias of the same object, which is number 5, and it's gonna be stored. This information is stored in the same memory address. Okay, and X2 and Y2 are also the same alias of the same object, hello, which has the same object that has the value of hello, and that's also reside in the same memory address. But with x3 and y3, x3 is a list from 1 to 3, and y3 is a list also from 1 to 3. So after you have created x3 is 1, 2, 3, the list reside in a memory location. But when you create the list y3, it's also 1, 2, and 3. It is not referring to the old memory address. The new list is created at another different memory address. So these two objects are not the same. They are not identical. So those two objects are two different objects. That's why x2 is y. That's why x3 is y3. When you print that statement out, it's going to return false because those two objects are not the same because they reside in the different memory address. And because the action of creating two lists want to create two different objects at two different memory address. Okay? All right. Okay, so next we're gonna head to number 5. We're going to number 5, which is the comparison operator. So you can compare two numbers, right? So comparison operator can be less or equal to, or greater than or equal to. So you know that 1 is less than 2, so we're gonna return 2. And 1 is lesser or equal to 2. Wow, it's lesser, right? So we're still gonna return for you 2. Similarly, 2 is equal to 2. So when you say 2 is lesser or equal to 2, they're gonna return 2. But in the fourth case, 3 is strictly bigger than 2, right? So when you compare 3 is lesser or equal to 2, it has to return false because 3 is strictly greater than 2. Okay? Alright, this is kind of easy, right? Alright, more easy than the first one. Okay, same thing with greater or equal to and greater. 2 is greater than 1, so the fifth row gonna return 2. 2 is greater than 1, so 2 greater or equal to 1 gonna return 2 as well. 2 is equal to 2, that's why 2 is greater or equal than 2, it's also gonna return 2. And lastly, because 2 is smaller than 3, so when you try the operation 2 is greater or equal to 3, it's gonna return false. So this is just comparison operator. You can compare two numbers without. And lastly, we're gonna consider the arithmetic operators. So arithmetic operator is just simple calculation. It's a plus operation, minus operation, divide operation, multiply operation. So simply you can print out 8 plus 3 gonna return 11, 8 minus 3 gonna return 5, 8 times 3 is multiplication operation, which is 24, and let's talk about the last 3 operation. So 8 divided by 3, we call it true division operation. It just start you just take a division, that's all. So 8 divided by 3 in fraction, it's just 8 over 3, okay? But in decimal form, it should be 2.66. So you can see here 2.666. So don't worry about the 5. There was some error in calculation because any computer will have error in calculation. So the one slash 8 slash 3 is true division. You just want to take 8 divided by 3. Okay. What is different is 8 2 slash 3. It is the finding the integer part of the result of uh, of 8 divided by 3. So that's called integer division, which means you find the return, it return the integer part of the result of the division, of the result of the division. Okay, so for example, a 2/3 gonna return 2, and I gonna just let the last one out. The last one is important, but I'm gonna let it out a little bit here. So for example, if you print, for example, 2 2/1 2/2, it means you want to find the integer part when you take 1 divided by 2, and that should return for you 0. Okay, so the last line now should become to 0, which is correct. And let's check another case. If you take 19 divided by 9, well, 18 divided by 9 is 2, so 19 is 1 up, so it's going to return 2. Okay, so it's like the floor function. Okay, they want to give you the floor function of the result, which is the integer part of the result. Okay, and lastly, we have a very important operation, which is the modulus operation. Okay, so we're gonna print out a little bit separation here. So modulo operator. So this operator is used a lot in computer science. It's just the operator that returns the remainder of a integer division. Okay, so let's try to do it so you can understand it. So it returns the remainder of integer division. Okay, so division. So for example, 8 modulus 3, 8 divided by 3 is 2 with 2 left behind, so we're gonna return the 2 that's left behind. For example, when you print out, for example, 6 modulus 3, well, 6 divided by 3 is 2 with 0 left behind, so we're gonna return 0. We're gonna return the remainder. Okay, we're gonna return the remainder. So let's check. So you can see modulo operator is just 2 and 0 on the last 2 lines. So let's try another one. So for example, print, for example, 28 divided by 9, so modulo 9. So you know that 27 is divisible by 9, so 28 divided by 9 gonna have the remainder of 1. So 28 modulo 9 gonna return 1. So let's check. So this one. And lastly, for example, print 101 and modulo 99. Well, you know, it's just gonna return 2, right? Because the difference is 2. So the last one should be 2, right? So it's 2. So modulo operator is the operation in Python that return for you the remainder of a integer division. Okay. So I think that's enough for this exercise. This tutorial. Well, if you want me to ask me any question or request me on which problem I should do, so please comment section down below, and we're gonna do it next time. The link to the video and the link to the source we're gonna post it under the video. Okay. So thank you very much for joining in. Have a good day. Thank you.